Hi guys, I am back with you on this beautiful fall day to talk about the next steps in your stay once we've got a basic stay behavior with some duration, which is what our last stay video was about. Our next step here is to build in some distance, some distraction from that stay. So this video tutorial covers dogs who are doing a stay on the mat, like a place behavior, but also dogs who are just doing a regular stay. You're going to do the same sort of proofing and training exercises regardless of whether your dog is on a platform or a mat, like in a place, or if they're just doing a basic stay. So basically, we teach the stay initially and we build a little bit of duration into it. We teach our dogs to understand what stay means, to wait for the release cue during this pattern. But then it's really important that we take our dog's stay and we proof it against a variety of basic distractions and distances, our ability to move away from our dogs, turn away, go do something else, and have our dog still stay. It's not super helpful to have a stay if you need to stay right in front of your dog in order to keep them in the stay. It's just kind of pointless. At that point, we want to be able to move away from our dogs and go function and trust that our dogs are going to hold that stay or hold that place and not move. So if we want our dogs to be able to do that, they have to have practiced it. And we start with basic movements, basic distractions, a little bit of distance, nothing crazy, with our familiar release cue, practice, and build up to longer periods of time sitting on the mat while we're doing or just staying, right? Not necessarily on the mat. Staying put while we do more distracting things, while we walk further away from them, and eventually while we actually like turn and engage with the environment, right? So once my dog's pretty good at staying on their mat or just staying still while I walk away, turn around, walk in and out of the room, jump up and down, spin in circles, do weird stuff. Then I'm going to start actually doing like sort of household things, the types of stuff that I might want to do while my dog is on a place or a stay, like folding the laundry or picking up, trash or items around the house in the cleaning. Or sweeping or something, and I sort of move on to proofing my dog's stay against those types of things. But let's first talk about how we start adding distance and distraction to this stay. So I'm going to use my dog Tank in just a second here, and I'm going to do a little tutorial. I guess I'll do it on and off the mat just to show you the difference. I mean, it's pretty much the same game, but just so that you've got that. And what you're going to see is me starting to add little bits of movement to this behavior, and then giving him his release cue. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, so let me just walk you real quick through what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Tank over here. We're going to start with him on his mat, and you're going to see me start to add some distance and some distraction to this stay on your mat behavior for him. And I'm going to start with just a little bit, right? So I'm going to take a step, usually to the side. If I'm starting this with a dog, I don't step backwards from the dog because that's really tempting and they want to follow us when that happens. So I will step to the side. I'm going to step off to the side. I'm going to click or mark in some way. You would say yes if you were using a verbal marker. And then I'm going to step back to my dog and I'm going to reward him. Then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to take another step in another direction. I'm going to click, or I would say yes if not using a clicker, and step back in front of my dog and reward him. I'm going to do that a few times, and then I'm going to release him. So let me show you what that looks like. You ready, buddy? Come here. Ready? Release. Nice job, buddy. Ready? Okay. Good job. So as you can see, when I first start this, I make it really easy, right? So I'm just moving a couple of steps, and then I'm releasing my dog pretty quickly. I'm not asking him to stay there while I walk all around the yard or do anything really distracting. I'm just doing a little bit of movements, click, treat, and then release my dog. If that was too much for the dog, right? So Tank actually knows how to do this game, right? He's really good at staying. He's really good at place. So he knows to just stay put. But if you've got a new dog who is learning this for the first time and you try and take that one step and they jump off the mat, it's too exciting, or they jump up out of the position that they're in, it's too exciting for them. What you can do is kind of take a little bit of a half step, just a partial step, or even do a little bit of a leg lift instead of a full step if it's too much for the dog. We're just trying to get a little bit of movement, something that's enough that the dog notices that there's a movement, but not so much that the dog leaps off the spot where you want them to stay put, so that we can click and treat a couple times and help them get the idea that, all right, this is the same game, it's just the human is moving now. So I'm going to do that again, and I'm just going to show you what I would do if Tank was a super newbie dog who was really struggling with me trying to take a step, and how I'd make that easier for him. Come here, buddy. Partial step, click, back to treat. If that was too much, I might just do a little leg lift, click, treat. Okay. Good boy. So just like that, right? So I start with some really easy movements. Just take a step or two, click or say yes, and then I'm going to walk back to my dog and I'm going to treat again, and then I'll move again, come back to my dog and treat. If that's too hard, I'm just going to start with some wiggles and some movements, lifting my leg, moving my body, click, treat, move my body, click, treat, release my dog. Once you've done a few of those, most dogs have figured it out, and at that point you can start moving a little bit more and you can actually step away from them. We always click when we're doing distance patterns. We're always going to click or say yes when we're at the furthest distance from the dog, right before we start coming back to them. This doesn't matter as much if you're only taking one step or maybe two steps, but when we start adding more distance in, if I'm walking 15 or 20 steps from my dog, having that click or yes happening at the 20 step mark tells my dog, all right, the human is coming back. All right, here comes my treat. I'm going to get rewarded for this, or maybe I get to get up in a second. And it just helps them kind of predict what's going to happen next, and you just get a little bit of a better stay. So we would then continue to add a little bit more steps, a little bit more movement, a little bit more adjustments and things like that into this behavior. So let me show you what that looks like. And I'm going to show you this one using my other dog, and we're going to remove the mat. So we'll do this off of the mat to show you what a basic stay would look like. Again, it's the same training process, just a different cue, right? One is place, one is stay, one is get up on your cot or mat and stay put. The other is just stay put where I've placed you or put you. 1 second. So that is doing it in a basic stay. So you see my dog, she was in a down stay, and I'm walking away, I'm clicking, I'm coming back to reward. I do that a handful of times, and then I release her. From there, I just want to make it harder, right? So I'm going to continue to practice that. I'm going to work on those distractions. I'm going to work on turning around so that I'm not making eye contact with my dog, so that my dog does not think that eye contact is part of the stay behavior. Otherwise, you have to look at your dog the whole time you want them to stay. So I'm going to practice walking away, turning my back to my dog, moving around, coming back, jumping up and down, clapping my hands, running around, picking things up, doing weird stuff. And I'm just taking time to really make sure that my dog understands that stay means stay, no matter what's happening around them. And this is something that takes a fair amount of practice. And when we're teaching this to a new dog, we work on it every day for 5 or 10 minutes. And we do that for probably several months until we get the behavior to the degree that we really want it, that dog can hold the stay despite whatever level of distraction that you're trying to train it against. So I'm just going to do one more little clip where I show you with Maddie a little bit of distraction proofing, what I was talking about there. And then you guys can all start practicing on your own. might turn my back on my dog, walk away, click or yes, back to treat, dog, stay. I might do some weird movements, yes, jump up and down, yes. Okay. Okay. And there you have it. So building a strong stay isn't exactly hard. It just takes a lot of repetition and practice. Little tiny steps make it easy for your dog. Start with very easy distractions, like just a couple of steps of movement, and then build up to more and more and more and more. If you check out some of my other videos, you'll see my dogs practicing their stay, working on proofing it. You'll see me running around, jumping up and down, throwing toys in the air, doing all kinds of things to just help my dogs really learn that stay means stay means stay. Stay is an important behavior. It can be a life-saving behavior, depending on the situation. It's certainly a behavior that makes our lives with our dogs a lot easier, even if it never is a life-saving behavior. And it's worth putting some attention and focus in to teaching this properly and making sure that your dog has a really good stay. So have fun with it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and that was helpful for you. Get out there and start practicing with your dogs. Thanks.